Health before wealth. The root of the problem. Medical cannabis tourism. Loyalty and fractional ownership powered by blockchain integrated with DEFI. Advisor to His Excellency Phay Siphan, the spokesman for the Cambodian government, co-founder of Khana Monkey and Stemflux. From France, Herve Lacorne.
Hello, and thank you very much for listening to me, and I greatly appreciate CISW inviting me to present in front of you today. I'll give you a little bit background about myself. I've been an entrepreneur and innovator, mostly in the world of fintech and biotech. I've been working in fintech and banking for 30 years, and biotech has been more over the last 4 years, both which is my investment in both Stemflux, Khana as well as Khana Monkey. My title is Health Before Wealth, and I know many young people think focus on money, focus on wealth, but as you get older and wiser, you realize you don't want to be the wealthiest man in the cemetery, and that's where we feel there's great opportunity with cannabis as well as other medical treatment. And I'll present a little bit about what we are doing. Number one, the most important thing is education and communication. Today, there is a lot of misinformation. A clear example here in Thailand is the example of Thai stick, which you can see in my presentation. For the longest time, I believe Thai stick was something deep in opium and was something that's just for the druggie, when it's actually a nice green cigar and something that is much healthier than smoking a cigar. Other example in miscommunication is my experience in California. As a young student, I studied in California, both high school, college, grad school, and I was pretty much the only one that didn't touch cannabis because I was listening to what the industry was talking about in terms of this thing being a dangerous drug, bad for you, right? There's also this connotation of cannabis being the drug of the losers, or really kind of people that don't do anything or lazy. When we actually look at the reality back in I believe it was 1950s, the club of the Hashishim, which was basically the elite in Paris, includes some of the most renowned writers and philosophers. So Baudelaire, which is one of my favorite writers, was part of that, as well as Alexandre Dumas, which most of you may know about the Three Musketeers. So really, cannabis is not that drug that is from the heavy drugger or the loser, but really more the elite and the intellectual. I've been using of that drug. So the important thing is communication. And communication is also very important to communicate some of the positive effects that have come in from the COVID recently. Not only have we found some benefit to fight COVID, but I think really importantly, building your immune system. And building your immune system includes sleeping well and managing pain. And those are two primary things that have been done for hundreds of years with cannabis. I also believe there is a great opportunity in mixed therapy. So cannabis is not everything. Cannabis is a great product, but it's not solve everything. We mix, we feel it can be mixed with regenerative medicine, such as stem cell and growth factor, in order to blend and get a really better outcome. What is the root of the problem? Well, when we talk about medical cannabis, it's been used for over 5 centuries, both in the Middle East and Southeast Asia, where it was coming from. It's not until 1937, I'm sorry, that the Marijuana Tax Act came into the U.S., and the U.S. forbid the sale and production of hemp and cannabis. So later on, the U.S. became, in 1973, pushing and putting pressure in countries like Nepal to make cannabis illegal. And as we see in Southeast Asia, we still have the impact of cannabis being illegal in Cambodia, and it's just starting to change in Thailand, going back to the roots, right? California was, again, the first one to legalize medical cannabis in 1996. And going back to my experience, you know, I was faced with the fact that this is something that's classified as a medicine. So we need to educate people in order to ensure that we can take advantage of the benefit of cannabis. In Thailand especially, we see opportunity with medical tourism. I have actually visited some of the places, and I don't want to mispronounce it, where there are university and clinic that are doing treatment with cannabis in Thailand. Fortunately, there's great opportunity to increase that. Other opportunity in Thailand is in the cosmetic. There's an enormous amount of interest right now in injecting CBD in cosmetic, and Thailand has a great reputation, along with Korea and some other, with basically cosmetic. Also, Thailand finds itself to be one of the location for retirement. So retiring, moving to Thailand, and being able to have medication. Let's remember that in North America in 2016, the elderly were the highest growing part of cannabis consumption, again, for medical as well as other benefits. So this next slide talks about growing your med. You know, I'm not suggesting that everyone grows their med personally. You know, yes, you can do that, and many people do that. But I can grow my tomatoes. I don't grow my tomatoes. I leave that to the expert, and I certainly would be the same for cannabis. But I do see there's a tremendous opportunity for most countries to get back in the production of pharmaceutical and really, especially the herb movement. Big pharma has different incentive than really the benefit of the people, right? Some of the other benefit of growing cannabis is really decentralized value chain, being able to support and stimulate the small and medium-sized enterprise that are going to be growing, processing, and exporting ultimately. And that's a way to energize the farming sector. We're working with various countries. We have some success in Africa, where really they see the growing of cannabis and doing the work as a way to basically empower the agriculture. Some of the challenges when you have this is the quality control, and we can solve that by using some technology, where my background comes in. So blockchain for tracking from seed to production is something that's very useful. There's also more opportunities right now in financing of SMEs, both with government support as well as potentially using blockchain, the decentralized finance. Decentralized finance can help in some of the contract growing opportunity, both in Thailand and especially in Southeast Asia and other countries. One of the final point that I want to say is really the blending of both, if you want, the financing as well as the quality control using technology. So blockchain brings us the transparency and the quality. So when we're looking at somebody that is growing seed, being able to follow and track so that we can be ensured of organic content and other places like that. Country of origin, right? When we have a brand like Thailand, it is important to be able to confirm that. And also the blockchain and what has happened gives us opportunity to bring in hybrid financing capability. So we've seen ICO moving to loyalty points and being able to make your customer stakeholders and being able to join into that. And the creation of a digital currency that is tied to cannabis has been done many times, but certainly for really creating a stable coin that will allow and empower people to get financing from all over the globe. This is really the opportunity as global local. You know, Thai people have a lot of people around the world that would be keen to invest in their country, and but not only Thai people. As one of the Farang that spend a lot of time in Thailand, we are keen to continue to invest. And that's where the DeFi space, which is basically decentralized finance, supporting the SME is an opportunity for Thailand that has been very friendly on the technology side as well. So I'm very excited with the opportunities, very excited with CISW being able to put us all together so we can collaborate, share, and learn from each other and support each other globally. And with that, anything else, I'd probably like to open it for discussion or comment of questions.
Hello, Mr. Herve Lacorne. Here are some questions from the audience. 1, is there any scientific research to support the statement that cannabis can potentially cure everything? And what is your opinion about that?
Yes, I think. That's a great question. I think, as I mentioned briefly in my presentation, many people think cannabis is the solution to everything. Many people think stem cell is the solution to everything. Many people think blockchain is the solution to everything. I believe that cannabis is great for many things, but I also believe in the power of being able to mix and benefit from other herbal medicine, right? Other regenerative medicines such as stem cell or growth factor. So I take the approach that no, it's not the drug that is going to really be like these terrible drugs that it is still, but it's not also the solution to everything. And there are great opportunity in studying more about it. You know, right now when we talk about cannabis, it's THC, CBD. There's many other components that can be merged and have great benefit for medicine.
And now for our second question. Does Thailand have adequate resources and capabilities to do blockchain for medical cannabis industry?
I think, okay, your question is basically, is there enough in Thailand for both blockchain to benefit and cannabis? I think really the blockchain only helps in being able to track the production and also to finance. But I don't think it's tied to Thailand only. Basically, when we're looking at other countries in Africa and in Southeast Asia, I think there are benefit to the blockchain. Again, blockchain is not everything. Kind of like cannabis is not the only medicinal solution that cures everything. Blockchain is not needed in some times. Blockchain and the decentralized aspect permits the financing globally and locally. Permits the oversight in terms of being able to track production, but it's not everything. You know, we've lived without blockchain for decades and hundreds of years and not needing it. I think it's just an opportunity to really benefit from the fractional ownership and turn your customer into a stakeholder. I don't want to say the word investor, but basically that's one of the opportunity of the fractional ownership tied to blockchain. Okay, well, thank you very much. And again, looking forward to this great opportunities that we have with cannabis in Thailand and Southeast Asia and selling to the world.